Hey guys, and today I'm going to be showing you a demo on how to do this really easy kind of pink halo eye. So I'm going to start off with the Soap & Glory One Heck of a Blot Primer, and I'm putting that in my T-zone to control some oil and to help me keep matte, fill in some pores, all of that good stuff. And I gotta put my hair up because I look like a crazy person with my matches. And now I'm using the e.l.f. Blemish Control Primer like I usually do for the rest of my face. I'm just doing like one pump kind of and putting it in the other areas that I have not yet primed. Sorry, I'm watching Shameless while I was filming this, so if you see me look off to the side, that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to be using the Rimmel Lasting Finish 25-Hour Foundation. I love this foundation. I just did a whole video on top 4 drugstore foundations, and I included this. So if you want to see that, I can link it down below or put it in the cards, something like that. And I'm just spreading this on my face because it doesn't have a pump, so I had to put it on the back of my hand. And I'm going to blend it in with my Morphe sponge, which is my fave. I'm so into this episode. It was a good one. It was when Fiona got arrested. Sorry if that's a spoiler. Okay, so now I'm going in with Tarte's Shape Tape, and I'm going to put it under my eye to conceal any dark circles or all of the dark circles. And I'm also going to use it to highlight the face and also as an eye primer. I was going to use like a regular eyeshadow primer, but I'm so used to just like putting concealer on my eyelids that that's what I did and totally forgot. So yep, today I'm going to use the Tarte Shape Tape as an eye primer. And now I'm going to set everywhere that I put concealer with my Bella Pierre Loose Setting Banana Powder. I'm going to kind of be using it to bake my eyelids since I forgot that I was going to use an eye primer. I have to make sure that I set the Shape Tape or else it will crease, and it'll crease pretty quickly because I do have oily eyelids. So I'm just packing the powder on my eyelids, and then I'm just going to do like a light dusting on all of the other spots that I put concealer. Now I'm going to be using this Sonia Kashuk Loose Setting Powder, and I'm pretty sure it's in the shade Medium. I think it only comes in 2 shades, and I'm just using this to lightly set the rest of my face. And I'm kind of pressing it in and also dusting it around instead of just dusting it on. I feel like it helps to keep me more matte throughout the day. And now to contour, I'm using this Wet n Wild Duo in the shade Dulce de Leche, and I'm using the darker shade to contour. And I like to start towards my ears or towards my hairline and drag the product back so that when I put down the brush, most of the product goes towards my hairline, and as I get closer into the center of my face, I have less product on my brush. It helps to create, I think, like a more natural contour. And now for bronzer, I'm going in with a Too Faced Dark Chocolate Soleil. And I like to start up towards my temples first with bronzer, with where the most product will be laid down instead of either on my cheeks or on my forehead, because I feel like, again, towards the hairline is naturally where you have more pigmentation to your skin rather than like on your cheeks. So I feel like it helps to give a more natural bronzy effect rather than like an obvious like splotch of bronzer. And now I'm going to go in with the Tarte Amazonian 12 Hour Wear blush. It's in the shade Feisty. And I'm just going to do a light layer of blush because we all know how much I dislike blush. And for highlight, originally I went in with this e.l.f. Baked highlight in the shade Blush Gems. But I don't know, as I was putting it on, I thought that it was like too pinky toned. So I go in later and top it off with something else. But I mean, these highlights are great. They're only a few bucks. You do have to scrape off that top layer, but once it's off, it is a really, really nice highlight. And so I end up going in with Becca's Prosecco Pop because I just thought that it was too pinky tone, so I wanted it to be a little bit more on the golden side. Okay, so now I'm going to the Pur Soiree Diaries eyeshadow palette, and I'm starting off with the shade Gala, and I'm going to be building this into my crease. So I'm kind of starting towards the outer corner and dragging it in, but I will be building this color up so that it is equally pigmented in the outer corner as it is in the inner corner, hence a halo eye. I am trying to leave the center of the lid blank, but I mean, you're gonna cover it, so even if you get a little bit of shadow on the eyelid, it's fine. And so I'm just blending back and forth, really trying to blow out the color and diffuse the shadow up towards the brow bone. This is a really light color and it's a really buildable color, so it's easy to deepen the look and keep it either as light or as pigmented as you want it to be. And here you can see that I'm dragging it into the inner corner all the way towards my tear duct, creating the same crease pigmentation on the inner corner as I do on the outer corner. Okay, so now I'm going in with the shade Stunner, which is like a warmer kind of terracotta color. And I'm taking it on a smaller brush and I'm starting in the outer corner and kind of dragging it inwards. The same kind of thought process goes for this shade, making the inner corner and the outer corner the same pigmentation level while leaving the center lid blank. And I kind of like tap the product on and then drag it inwards because I feel like this helps blend it more evenly, and it helps to keep the product with the most pigmentation on the outside of the lid as you drag it in. So now I'm going into this shade Snazzy, which is a really deep brown, and I'm keeping this pretty low and in more of the outer corner. This shade I am definitely going to build up. I go back and forth a lot between the shade Snazzy and Stunner, back and forth until I feel like I reach the darkness or the deepness that I wanted. But the same kind of theory applies here, creating the inner corner and the outer corner with the same pigmentation level and blending it into the crease and then going back and forth. And there's a lot of blending here. A lot of going into the same colors over and over again, but this really helps to make it more of like a cohesive look. And I'm going back into the shade Stunner and kind of blending that out. And now I'm going back into Gala and kind of making sure that everything is diffused and soft and there's no harsh lines. Okay, so now I'm picking up this shade Twinkle, which is kind of like a coppery pinky shade, and I'm going to pop it onto my lid. And a good judge of where you want that center shade to go on a halo eye is when your eye is open. You want to put it right above where your pupil would be if you're looking straight. And then I felt like I wanted to really make it pop, so I picked it up on my finger, the same shade, and I'm putting it on right over top where I applied it with the brush, and I just feel like it made it pop a little bit better. And then I'm going back into the shade Stunner and kind of blending things together, because I feel like when you put your lid color on, you kind of lose some of the pigmentation. And then here I'm going into Snazzy, and again deepening up the outer and inner corners, making sure that I don't lose any of that crease color. And then I'm going over the shade Twinkle one last time. And then for the lower lash line, I'm going to pick up the shade Stunner, and I'm pretty much just doing the same thing that I did on my in my crease. I'm going to do the same thing on my lower lash line. So I'm putting it on the inner and outer corners, and then I am picking up the shade Snazzy and doing the exact same thing, but keeping it a little bit closer to the lash line. And then with my finger, I'm picking up Twinkle again and putting it right in the center, right underneath where it is on the eyelid. Then I'm taking the NYX Treasury liner, and I'm going to tight line, and I'm also going to put it into my waterline, and this is in the shade Black. And for mascara, I'm just going to do a little bit of the Essence Volume 18 Hour Lash Stylist Mascara, because I am going to go in with lashes. And for liner, I didn't show it, but this is the NYX Liquid Matte Liner. It's the one with the brush tip. I cannot do felt tip liner for the life of me, so I like this one. It dries so matte and so black. I just love it so much. So I like to start kind of in the middle of my eye and drag the liner outwards, and then start from the outer corner and connect it to my eye, and then kind of fill it in. So I'm going to be going in with the Allure Vegas Nay Lashes, and I use the Duo Black Lash Adhesive, and I just let them dry a little bit, and then I just pop them on. I love these lashes. So now I'm just going to apply the same mascara to my bottom lashes. I love how this mascara looks on the bottom lashes. It really like balances out the whole look. So then moving on to my brows, I'm using the Ulta Brow Pomade, and I like to start on the underside of my brow when I have the most product on my brush, and kind of do a line as to where I want my brow to follow. And then I fill in the rest of the brow. And when I get to the front, when I have the least amount of product on my brush, is when I really focus the front or the tip of my brow, so that it looks a little bit more natural and a little bit faded and not so harsh and defined. And then for my lip, I'm using the ColourPop Matte X Lip in the color Saturday. So now I'm taking out my hair, kind of shaking it out. Oh, and I use the Morphe setting spray. And once I have sufficiently bathed in it, I take my Morphe sponge and I just kind of press it in. And here I top off my highlight with some more Prosecco Pop once my setting spray was down, because I feel like it sticks a little bit better. And yeah, that's the end of the look. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next one.